and welcome. We would like to welcome our school committee members, city and state dignitaries, students, families, distinguished guests, but most of all, our veterans and family and friends of Lance Corporal Raymond R. LaPointe. I would also like to recognize some people who have given us the ability to celebrate this day. If you are an active member of the military or a veteran, please stand or just give us a wave. We thank you so much for your service. We have members of our principals and leadership team. If you could also either stand or give us a wave. I would also like to thank some people that made this dedication come to fruition. And they are Mr. Arthur DuPont, Mr. Dennis Crew, Ms. Diane Clifton, Ms. Jane Van Geisen, and our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. John Cabal. Without your vision, this could not have been possible. Today we gathered to pay tribute and honor a courageous soul who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. Lance Corporal LaPointe stood on the front lines, facing adversity with unwavering resolve to protect the values and the freedoms that we hold so dear. We've chosen this day, June 14th, Flag Day, to recognize this Marine. Flag Day was first observed by a teacher in Wisconsin in 1885. It's an annual observance and a reminder of our freedoms. This dedication to Lance Corporal LaPointe and his legacy gives us a renewed sense of purpose and commitment to inspire future generations. When our school first opened its doors in 1997, our principal was Frances Hoig. She had a pet bulldog, and that was for a particular reason. You see, she was married to a Marine, Walter Hoig. And that's why we have a bulldog as our mascot. And it's always remarkable how things seem to always connect in life. Lance Corporal LaPointe's selfless actions exemplify the very best of humanity, reminding us of the profound impact that one individual can have on their community. At this time, I would like to call our Safety Patrol officers, Captain Lucas Veloso, Lieutenant Ava Ramos, and Sergeant Ali Therian to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If it is your practice and you're able to do so, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, please remain standing as our fourth graders will sing the Star-Spangled Banner and My Country 'Tis of Thee, led by our music teacher, Michelle Fry.
Like the dawn's early light, what so proud? 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 What so proud?
I'd like to call up our Safety Patrol officers, Lucas, Ava, and Allie. Come on up. Along with Mr. Dennis Prue, who will be presenting to the family.
Jack and David. Let me explain this to you. Okay, this picture right here is a picture from the wall in Washington with Raymond LaPointe's name on it. It's actually, I took that, is that a portable one or?
No, it's not.
I mean, I gotta stretch?
Yes, sorry.
Okay,
You want them
I'll just have to
to
point.
Yeah.
Okay, the one on the left, Raymond LaPointe's name is right in the middle of that. I could have fogged out some of the other names, but I felt as though some of those other names are the guys that were with him, that passed, were KIA also. The next plaque is, I have a panoramic picture of the wall, the whole wall, and I took that a while ago, and what I added to it was, you probably heard about rubbings on the wall. You go to the name and you rub it. And I added to it. It's very hard to see, but it's there. And my feelings about the wall is, when you touch that name on the wall of somebody that you know, they're there. They're looking down from heaven and know that they are being remembered. It breaks my heart every time I go to the wall. Any Vietnam veteran that's been there feels the same way. And we'd like to present these two to Jack and David LaPointe. We have one more thing.
One more thing, man.
Yeah. For helping us today, we have these coins from the Taunton Area Vietnam Veterans Association. We'd like you to... Battery for my camera. Always carries spares. Coin for you. And a coin for you. So you'll always remember what you did this day. Okay? Thank you very much. Here's my bad carry. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
My feet.
Right here.
Yes.
I got it.
Glasses. Tough to get old. Okay. I'll probably forget my camera here too. Okay, you already know who I am. It's been said. But I didn't know Raymond. He was a year ahead of me at Taunton High School, and he wasn't in any of my classes. We lived on the opposite side of Taunton. He was in East Taunton, I was in Whittington. Last year, Arthur LaPointe got a hold of me and told me about what Raymond did. I had read his name many, many times at our ceremonies, but didn't know the circumstances, except that he was KIA in Vietnam and he was from Taunton. The first thing I did was research his name on the Vietnam Wall websites. There are a number of sites that let people post their feelings. Some are just general acknowledgments of thanking those on the wall for their sacrifice, but some are very personal. I found four that knew Raymond and were in the same battle. Carl Wheeler, Joe Beck, and Don Provencher, and James Gutierrez. I can't pronounce his name, but he was the only one I couldn't locate. But he had a terrific comment, his feelings and everything he posted on the website. And what we did, our committee did, we framed what he said, and it's going to be on the wall. It is on the wall and just inside the lobby there. It's quite heartbreaking. And we have his statement framed, like I said. The other three, I had many email conversations with them over the past year and a half, and they are very, very pleased that we are doing this for Raymond. I asked them what was Raymond like in the service. The responses were a likable guy, quiet, dedicated, never causing trouble, did his job, hard worker, a Marine's Marine. They all called him Frenchie. All four unanimously strongly stated that because of Raymond's actions, they and many other Marines survived the battle. I got the contact info, and I asked my friend Peter Mazzone, give them a call and record their statements. They told him about the battle in Compiègne, about Raymond. They relived everything over again. I remember Pete calling me afterwards, and he said, "Dennis, I was never in combat, never in the service, but after listening to them, I have PTSD." That's how emotional that was for them to tell about the battle. Ray's company was going out on a seemingly easy mission, a walk in the park. Well, it wasn't. They walked into a perfectly executed trap. No way out. Their only hope was to survive long enough to get air support, artillery, and reinforcements to break the attack. The main assault was directly at Frenchie and his crew. They fired their machine gun until they ran out of bullets. Then they ran out of grenades. They were actually throwing C-ration cans at the enemy to make it look like they were throwing more grenades. Many speculate that Frenchie went out and fought hand to hand. He gave his life to gain the time needed to receive that support. If not for his bravery and life sacrifice, many more Marines would have been lost. What makes a person go above and beyond the call of duty? What makes them sacrifice themselves for others? Is it their training? Is it instinct? Is it their dedication to their fellow comrades? That has always been a question, and there's no one common answer. If you think about it another way, how many futures did Raymond give to all his fellow Marines by giving up his? Heroes need to be recognized, to be remembered, honored, and never forgotten. Today, June 14th, we honor Lieutenant Lance Corporal Raymond LaPointe today. And thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prue. At this time, I'll be dismissing our fourth grade chorus members. They can go back into the building. Thank you to our chorus and Mrs. Fry. Did a wonderful job. At this time, we welcome the Honorable Mayor Shauna O'Connell to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. Good morning. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here with you all today, and particularly with the members of the Taunton Area Vietnam Veterans Association, other veterans and military members, and of course the family of Ray LaPointe. And I just want to take a moment to recognize a few people that are here today. Our Veterans Director, Ali Rodriguez, is with us. Former Mayor Tom Hoy, who is now probate of courts. City Councilor Larry Quintel, who has also really done a great deal of work to honor Ray LaPointe. And City Councilor John McCall is also here with us today. As a community and as a grateful nation, as grateful Americans, we are always proud to honor our war heroes, those men and women throughout the history of this country that have had the grit, the guts, the loyalty to defend our Constitution and our nation. Lance Corporal Ray LaPointe bravely gave his life in service to our country when he was just 19 years old. He is a true hero in every sense of the word. The outpouring today of family, friends, city officials, our military and our veterans is just a reflection of the love and the respect that this community has for Ray, for his family, for our veterans, and for our military. We are very fortunate to live in a community that doesn't forget. We don't forget the sacrifice, the bravery, and the love of country. And that is in large part thanks to the members of the Taunton Area Vietnam Veterans Association who never forget and whose mission is to ensure that we recognize all of our local warriors. They carry on the loyalty, the sacrifice, and the memory of our heroes. It means a great deal to all of us here today to honor Ray, but what it means to the family who lost a son, a brother, an uncle, is beyond words. And what it means to the men who served in Vietnam, who came home when so many of their friends and comrades didn't, is that they keep their promise to never forget. And with this dedication, we all join them in keeping that promise. Thank you to Superintendent Cabal, your team, the entire school committee, Mr. Freitas, all of our residents for the help and support that bring us here today for this meaningful dedication. And thank you, Principal Nichols, and your team for this beautiful ceremony, for including your staff, and for including our students. It is so important that they are here, that they witness and understand what it means to honor service and sacrifice. And I know hearing them perform the national anthem put a smile on everyone's face this morning. They were outstanding. Today, it is with grateful hearts that we forever memorialize Lance Corporal LaPointe's sacrifice, and that we carry on his story of honor, of loyalty, and of heroism. Thank you all. Thank you for being here, and God bless.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connell. I would like to call up Dr. Gregory DeMello, our school committee chairman, to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Principal Nichols. Good morning, everyone, and well said, Mayor. I'd like to introduce the members of the school committee that ultimately made this all happen, because as a school committee, that's one of our duties, and I'm so happy that all of us are here. Well, not all of us are here today, but I'd like to introduce the ones that are here and not here. First and foremost, Mayor O'Connell, part of the school committee. Secretary Christine Fagan. Mrs. Donna Shavs. Ms. Melissa Santos, Mr. Louis Laurer, not able to be here because of work commitments, Mr. Gil Enos, Mr. Steve Vieira, and Mr. Nathan Pawalski. Just a couple nights ago, I had the honor of co-emceeing the Flag Day ceremony at the Elks, a tradition that we all know is part of the Elks rituals. And our late brother, Don Clary, was bestowed that honor, and I felt very humbled to be part of that presentation. But as the band was playing, again, Taunton School students, the high school band, they performed the national anthem, God Bless America, and as the ritual was going on with the flag presentation, the history of our flag, every one of those students, there must have been about 40 or 50 of them there, paid attention to the ritual that was going on in the history of our flag. And it's so proud that these students really, really appreciate at a young age what's going on in America. And just the presentation by Dennis Prue to the three students of the coins, you can see that they were very well thankful for the presentation of those coins. This is all about Ray LaPointe today, so I won't continue on with additional remarks that the mayor already said, but I do want to state the following. An event like today is what Pride in America is all about, and a reminder of all the sacrifices our veterans made to establish this country as the greatest in history. This is what we call true patriotism. Congratulations to all, to the family being here today. Thank you for celebrating this dedication. Of course, I didn't know Lance Corporal LaPointe, but I know he was a tremendous individual and a tremendous American. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. DeMello. Next, we have our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. John Cabal. Come on up to the lectern.
Claudine, go back there. Go back there. Claudine and her team deserve a huge round of applause. I mean, we just get to show up and enjoy, right, and reap the rewards of today. But Claudine, if you know Claudine, you know, she's very particular and pays attention to detail. So again, this has been an outstanding ceremony. I'll try to be brief, I'll try to be inspiring, and then I'll try to be gone. But I do want to commend my leadership team. So can my leadership team please stand up? Could my leadership team please stand up? So Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Chris Barata, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, Brenda Moynihan, and everyone's favorite Hoy, Director of Transportation, Stephanie Hoy. So I don't know where to begin, because I really have had the pleasure to get to know Frenchie and get to know Arthur and get to hear their stories. And every time I speak to them and they share their stories, I also get a sense of a little more healing that takes place in them, considering what they had to endure, what they had to see, and the friends and the colleagues that were left behind that didn't come back with them. But I also think back to my childhood. Sundays were very popular in my household because we would sit in front of the TV on Channel 6 and watch all these World War II movies. And as a child, back in Fall River, we would play war, right? We would grab sticks and we would run around in the woods playing war, lobbing rocks like they were grenades, playing war and trying to catch the enemy. But it was a game. It was fun. As I got older and developed a love and a passion for history, in high school and into college studying history, you get to understand, you get to learn a different side that it wasn't a game. And when I think about someone 19 years old, in a couple months, I'm going to be dropping off an 18-year-old in Boston. And I know that's going to be emotional for me, and I know that's going to be emotional for her. But she's only an hour away. I can drive in and bring her home. She can hop on a train and come home whenever she wants. When I think about young men and women, ages 18 and 19, flying halfway around the world to a place they don't know, knowing that they just can't pick up the phone and come home, it really makes you understand and appreciate what these brave men and women and their families had to endure. Words that I can't give justice, or feelings that I can't begin to convey to others. But just put yourself in that situation as a parent, and I'm sorry for those who had to. And I also think about the brave men and women who had to experience that so that I could stand up here today as an immigrant whose family immigrated to this country to reap the benefits and the reward of this amazing country. So I think you deserve a huge round of applause. And my leadership team and my principals will often reference that I always talk about being a servant leader and what it means to be a servant leader. And we think about servant leadership and giving of yourself, but now it's like you give of yourself, but not at your own health or not at the expense of your family. But when I think of the military and what they give and what they give back, that's the ultimate sign of being a servant leader, is being in our military, making the ultimate sacrifice, as Lance Corporal Raymond LaPointe did. So I think it's only fitting that the school committee, I got to give you the credit and having the courage, to go forward with honoring the school in honor of Lance Corporal Raymond LaPointe, because in some communities that doesn't happen, but here in Taunton it does. So I'm very proud of my school committee, very proud of my leadership team, and I'm very proud of this community. And my words will never give justice to what you have done for this country and for our community. So thank you. And when I was a principal at Friedman, we used to have Memorial Day, we had a pretty robust ceremony. And one of our teachers, who served in the Air Force, would always end the ceremony by reading this poem written by Father Dennis E. O'Brien. And it's a great reminder, especially this day and age. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us the freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to demonstrate. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves under the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cabal, for such meaningful words. We now have Senator Mark Pacheco here to say a few words. Come on up, Senator.
Let me just begin by thanking you, Principal Nichols, and the entire staff and all the boys and girls that have been involved in the program, to the school committee, to John Cabal himself and the leadership here at this tremendous public school here in East Taunton. We want to thank all of you for the work that you have done in ensuring today's ceremony would actually happen. To all the veterans that are here, in particular the Vietnam era war veterans that are with us today, thank you for your service to country. But as important, your service when you came home. The group that's involved here, the Taunton Area Veterans, Vietnam Veterans Association, continue to serve. They're continuing to serve in the community over and over and over again. I also want to, I am so taken aback by the courage of the hero that we honor today and his family that are with us today, the LaPointe family. Thank you very much for being with us today personally. I know in many ways it must be difficult to do, to be here, to think about it as you do, I'm sure, every day of your life growing up. He was a true American hero, Lance Corporal Raymond R. LaPointe. And it is fitting that the school committee and the city decided to name this school after him. And I know that it was a bit controversial very early on. And I thank the school committee. I can remember having conversations with Dr. DeMello and others on the school board about going through a process involving the community and listening to the community in terms of how this should be approached. And I think you made the right decision in naming Lance Corporal Raymond R. LaPointe as the name that will appear on this school. You know, I was thinking as the boys and girls were singing, and they were singing away and enjoying a few minutes that they were sharing with us. And 20 years from now, they will be thinking back when maybe a young child will be attending this school. And when they bring them here, they'll be saying, you know, I sang the national anthem that day when this school was named the Lance Corporal Raymond R. LaPointe East Taunton Elementary School. And they'll be continuing to tell the history, his history. Not only his history, but the history of everyone that served in Vietnam and what that must have been like. When I think of Vietnam and what Ray LaPointe must have gone through, we can read about it. We can try to imagine what it was like. And it wasn't for me until former Governor Paul Cellucci asked me to join him on a trip to Vietnam. I was not drafted. I, didn't serve. But I get to celebrate the freedoms and democracy that we have as an American. And when we landed in Vietnam, and I saw the rice paddies and the oxen, and in the days it was raining almost all the time when I was there during the rainy season. I couldn't imagine the challenges and the courage it must have taken for anyone who served. And so to all the Vietnam veterans that are here today, thank you for your service on this Flag Day, which is also an appropriate day, because to me that flag symbolizes freedom and democracy, and that's what Lance Corporal Raymond LaPointe gave his life to protect. The basic principles of freedom and democracy. Ray's brave actions that day, when we lost him, have been credited with saving many, many more lives, as you've heard earlier in the program. Today, we dedicate the school in Ray's name. We are now ensuring that Ray's memory lives on forever. And through him, we also remember those 12 other Tauntonians who gave their life for our freedom and our democracy here at home as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Pacheco. Let's have Representative Carol Doherty to come on up and say a few words.
Bring it in, bring it in. Thank you. Thank you very much, Principal Nichols. A fine establishment that you run and oversee. Everyone very happy. I also have to say that this is a fine tribute to the Lance Corporal, this wonderful outpouring of support and love for the Lance Corporal. All of you, community members, school staff, children who were here earlier, and Vietnam, our Vietnam veterans, the Taunton Area Vietnam Veterans Association. TAVA never lets us, our community, forget our Vietnam veterans or anyone else who has fought and died in our behalf for our freedom and democracy. They always remember, and this is a fitting dedication to one of their own. And just think back for a minute, these gentlemen that we see in our community every day, all kinds of memorials, shopping in the supermarket, just greeting us on the street or attending some other event. Look at these faces and think about them as young men fighting for us in our behalf. The story that is told about the Lance Corporal here today is repeated among Vietnam veterans who are still with us and who have gone before in our interest. These stories are critical and important for us to maintain in the lexicon of our community and those who fought and died for us, but for our youth coming after us. When I talk with young people about the Vietnam War, oh yes, they remember it. They recognize it. They have something to say about it. But by and large, it is something that they have read in the history books. And your stories, shared if you can, are really, really important. I gave remarks on Memorial Day in Easton, as I represent Easton and Taunton as well. And one of the things that I said in my remarks is about World War II veterans is that they are fast disappearing from among our midst. And so capturing those who remain and their stories is really important. And capturing your stories, if you have not told it, is really important to our community. We have a marvelous old colony history museum who saves and archives everything about us and about our community historically. That is the place where I believe the stories will belong, forever memorialized in our community. So maybe somebody can organize a conversation among the Vietnam veterans, taking their stories, if you're willing to share. So thank you very much. And I want to thank Superintendent Cabal and the members of the school committee, school staff, and the members of the Lance Corporal's family. I'm honored to be here this morning as our community comes together to honor a true American hero, Lance Corporal Raymond LaPointe. A special thank you again for this occasion goes out to the Taunton Area Vietnam Veterans Association, who began this conversation, culminating in this moment of dedication to the Lance Corporal. Thank you very much. The Lance Corporal's journey from a young student at, I believe, Caswell Grammar School, and I remember Caswell. How many of you remember Caswell Grammar School? Ah, yes, we all do. And Taunton High School. So his journey from Caswell School to Taunton High School to a brave United States Marine exemplifies the very best of what Taunton had and still has to offer to the world. His courage and leadership on the battlefield of Con Thien, Vietnam, where he selflessly defended his brothers in arms, posthumously awarded a Purple Heart. And we are a Purple Heart community, if you didn't know that already, is a testament to his remarkable character and the highest standards of military service. Raymond's story is one of dedication and sacrifice, embodying the spirit of those who step forward in times of need. His commitment to defending the freedoms we hold dear serves as an enduring example of what it means to truly serve others. The values that he upheld, courage, honor, duty, are the same values that we strive to instill in our children each day. As we pay tribute to Raymond's sacrifice, let us remember the bravery and patriotism that defined his life. His legacy will now echo through the halls of East Taunton Elementary, inspiring future generations of Tauntonians to uphold the values of courage, duty, and honor. Raymond's story reminds us of the profound cost of freedom and the heroism of those who defend it. Let us ensure that Raymond LaPointe's name and story are not just etched into this memorial, but also into the hearts and minds of all who walk through these halls. May this memorial stand as a record of his enduring legacy, a symbol of the price of our freedoms, and a reminder of the noble spirit of service. May it inspire all who see it to strive for the same courage and selflessness that Raymond exemplified. And I think, Dennis, that you said in your remarks in terms of the memorial that if you touch the memorial, he'll be smiling down at us from heaven. Truly, smiling down at us from heaven. Thank you for allowing me to make these remarks and to be here. I had initially, I was supposed to be traveling. I thought I was leaving on Wednesday, so not able to be here. And so I let the superintendent know that I wasn't here, and he suggested I wasn't going to be here. Here I am. I wasn't, so he suggested that perhaps I send him a letter with my remarks and he would present them for me. And so indeed, he went one step further and he memorialized my remarks in a framed document. So these are for you, forever for you to gaze at as you go along. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Representative Doherty. I would like to now call up Representative Patricia Haddad to come up and speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Nichols. Everything that should be said has been said. But I'm going to say thank you once more. Thank you to the Vietnam veterans of Taunton. If it were not for your dedication, things would not happen and people would not be remembered. Thank you to the school committee. Thank you to Dr. Cabal, because there's always a way to get to where you want to go, and they found the way. So many things have been said about Lance Corporal LaPointe. Thank you is a very, very small way for us to express how we feel. But it's been said multiple times. What we need to do is remember. And what we need to do is make sure that every child who walks through these doors from now until there are no more doors know the story of Lance Corporal LaPointe. And as my colleagues have said, know what it means to be an American, know what it means to give, know what it means to stand bravely, something that I would never be able to, in my wildest imagination, to feel what you felt, to know what you know, to see what you've seen, and still stand up and keep telling people how important this is. So in the very small way that we are able, we say thank you, but remembering is the most important thing that we can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Haddad. Representative Norman Orrell will now come up to the lectern.
Thank you. I just want to start my remarks first again is just thanking the family, the LaPointe family, who raised such a fine young man, who gave through family, I'm sure, gave him that courage, gave him the bravery, gave him that patriotism that he gave his all right to the bitter end to save other Americans, his friends, his comrades. So we thank you as a family for the sacrifice that far too many have to make, but we appreciate your being here today and taking part in this ceremony, because for the rest of us, most of us will not know what your family went through so many years ago. So it's our privilege to be here today and to show our appreciation to not only the Lance Corporal, but to the entire family. Secondly, again, I need to repeat our thanks to our TAVA members. And as the senator said so appropriately, you all continue to serve each and every day, every year, and I know you'll never stop. And it's an inspiration to the rest of us, to what lengths you will go for your comrades, both fallen and living, and the difference you make in the Taunton area for all veterans, but in particular for the Vietnam veterans. So again, I say thank you. It's very touching for us that you bring us to these things today, these ceremonies that we can honor. For the rest of us, it is a great day to be an American. Today, Flag Day, we celebrate and commemorate the day in 1777 when, as a country, we came together under one symbol, the Stars and Stripes, and made that our flag, what we all get behind and honor. And to see the children today is nothing more American than watching our children singing the Star-Spangled Banner and My Country 'Tis of Thee, and as Dr. Mello said, and other ceremonies of bands playing for us, it's nothing more American than our children taking part in what it means to be an American. So how appropriate it is today, Flag Day, that we're making this dedication to such a hero, such an American hero, someone we can all be inspired by. In particular, as has been said, in the future, our children, and as this school, as such an important part to the East Taunton community, it brings us together with pride to know that one of our own sacrificed the ultimate. And it gives us that feeling that in the future, we will remember, we'll all be inspired, and our kids will know who he was and what he did. So for all those that made that happen, thank you. And I thank you for the honor of representing East Taunton at the State House. And I'll just end by saying, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. This is a proud day for all of us, a sad day, but a very important day to remember Lance Corporal Raymond LaPointe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Orr. Our closing remarks will be led by Mr. Arthur DuPont. Come on up.
Gotta get the glasses on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to honor a son of East Taunton, a person who volunteered to join the Marine Corps at the young age of 19. His reason for joining was to answer the call of duty to protect his country, what he saw as an assault on our democracy and our way of life. He made the ultimate sacrifice for his country. If you were lucky enough to know Lance Corporal Raymond R. LaPointe, you would have known he was a genuine person and was fun to be around. He was a person with many great qualities. One of them was friendship. I am proud to call him my childhood friend, classmate at Castle School. That's where all the kids of us went to school before East Taunton Elementary, as well as a classmate in the class of 1966 at Taunton High School. Raymond was a true Marine in every sense of the word. On September 10th, 1967, the 3rd Battalion of the 26th Marines were attacked by at least a full North Vietnamese regiment. This battle showed how well prepared the North Vietnamese Army unit was and how they knew the ground they were fighting on. Lance Corporal Raymond R. LaPointe, a machine gunner, squad leader, nicknamed Frenchie in the Marines, held his ground all day, all night, providing firepower in the battle against the North Vietnamese Army, allowing the Marines to put up a line of defense, a perimeter, to fight from while allowing Marines to return to their base. LaPointe was the only Marine who was left outside the perimeter. He was left behind by his fellow Marines to hold off the North Vietnamese Army with his machine gun so that other Marines could live. He never made it back. Raymond was a true hero. That is why we are here today, to honor him by renaming the school East Taunton Elementary School, dedicated to Lance Corporal Raymond R. LaPointe. In closing, I would like to thank the Superintendent of Schools, John Cabal, Principal of the East Taunton Elementary School, Claudine Nichols, School Committee Chairman Greg DeMello and the school committee, Mayor Shauna O'Connell, and the City Council, also the Taunton Area Vietnam Veterans Association committee members who worked on this project, Dennis Prue, Diane Clifton, and Jane Van Geisen. I would like to recommend that you read a book titled Ambush Valley by Eric Hamill about this battle in Vietnam. Raymond's name is enshrined in this book on page 251. And this is the book right here. I appreciate it. You can get it on Amazon. Read about what a meat grinder that was, and to his fellow Marines. In closing, God bless those who served, especially those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. And someone once said, freedom is not cheap, it comes with a price. Raymond, this is for you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arthur DuPont. Before we have you move over to the side of the building for the unveiling, I would like to express our gratitude for everyone that came out today. After the unveiling, there'll be some light refreshments in our library. I would like to have the LaPointe family to lead the way to this side of the building for the unveiling, and then we can follow.